Hey, Blue Jay, you want to... Hey, Blue Jay, you want to hear a joke? When does a badger say moo?
When?
When he's learning a new language. Why? Wait. Is that? Why did the badger cross the road? Why? To show the possum it can be done. That's sort of dark.
That is sort of dark. Okay.
But it's funny!
It's time to begin our live video. And since our video today is going to be all about the alphabet, we're going to do a little alphabet activity right here in front of our fireplace. Who's ready to do an alphabet activity?
Not me.
How about Dory and Adley?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully you have a little bit of space to move because we are going to be forming letters with our bodies. Jory and Adley are going to give us their ideas, but you can come up with your own ideas at home too. Okay, head on over. Can you show us your idea for H? That looks like an H to me. I see the Jensima family is here. Hi, Jensimas. Jory and Adley, could you form a letter I? Yeah, you could stack so that you're darned. We'll move the camera up here. All right, there's our letter I. Did you make an I at home?
Nope.
I bet you figured out how. I wonder, could you turn that I into a T? There we go. Letter T. Could you form the letter A? How are you going to form an A? That looks like an A. I wonder if anyone at home could figure out how to form the letter O.
We could.
That looks like an O. All right, could you form, how about a U? We'll get all the vowels out of the way. We've done A, we've done I, we've done O. There's a U.
Oh, kind of.
Kind of. What vowel are we missing? We did A, we did I, we did O, we did U.
E.
We're missing E. Can you figure out how to make an E? Does that look like an E to everybody? I see it. Can we turn that E into an F? That's pretty close. Okay, we'll just do one more, I think. Can you figure out how to make an X? There's one way. Looks like an X. Did you guys have a different way you wanted to try? No. Okay, well, that's our body alphabet. Now we are going to do a Wisconsin alphabet. Now that we are all warmed up.
Wait, what?
We're all warmed up. with the alphabet. So we're going to sit down in front of our fireplace and just say a quick hello to everybody. It's okay.
That's what I see.
Right. Okay. Let's have a seat. Whoa, I really got that.
Inaccurate.
Inaccurate. All right. Welcome to our third episode of the Fireside Storytime chat with the Sheboygan County Historical Society and Museum. My name is Angie Hullen. I am the Education Program Developer at the Sheboygan County Historical Museum. And these are my helpers, my sons, Jory.
Hi.
And my son, Adlai.
Your son's Jory.
My sons, Jory and Adlai. And their helpers are with us once again today.
Hi.
Hi, say hello, Turkey and Blue Jay.
Hello.
All right, they've been helping us out. They've been a big help. So we are going to be reading a book today called B is for Badger. So that's where our alphabet activity came in. We're going to read that in a little bit. First off, we want to say some hellos to the people who are watching. I see Saria is here. Hello. I want to say hi also to Bella and Luke. Who do you want to say hi to?
Graham.
Hi, Graham.
Raymond and Lily.
Hi, Raymond and Lily. Also, hi, Calvin and Anya and Caroline.
Also, hi to Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
Oscar, Damien, and Agnes.
Hi, Caitlin and Amy.
Hi, Martin and Elizabeth. Hi, Lotus, Patchouli, Yarrow, and Hayes.
Hi, Benji and Andrew.
Hi, Anakin, Owen, F, Eric, and Zoe. Hi, Isaac and Roman.
Hi, Bentley and Camden.
Hi, Quinn. And hi, Elise.
Hello also to Carter. We're glad that you're joining us today. And hello to Austin and Parker, Garrett, Austin, and Sophia, and all the kids at Sheridan who are watching too. We're very happy to have you with us on Facebook Live. So, like I mentioned, hello Blue Jay and Turkey. Our book is called B is for Badger, and we are reading that today with permission from the publisher, which is Sleeping Bear Press, Cherry Lake Publishing Group. Yep, our book 2 weeks ago, Little Wisconsin, was also by Sleeping Bear Press. So they've been very generous with letting us use some of their titles for our Facebook Live story times in the past couple of weeks. So we're very grateful to them. I'm going to show you the cover of this book in a way that it doesn't appear backwards to you. Aunt Leah is here. Granny is here. Hello. We're going to try and... Oh.
Do we do this?
Yes, please do. Having a little bit of technical difficulty here, but I think we got it.
The B is for Badger book.
The B is for Badger. Okay. When we look at the cover of the book, we can see that this book was written by Kathy Jo Wargan and illustrated by Renee Grafe. Okay. And this book is all about things that you can find in Wisconsin.
No.
Can you open up the book, Albert?
It's smushed turkey, Jory. Okay, so no turkey and blue jay this time?
This is going to be read by Angie, Jory, and Adlai.
And maybe turkey and blue jay.
Maybe Turkey and Blue Jay will help out too. All right. A is American Water Spaniel riding in a boat. This native of Wisconsin has a warm and curly coat. Did you know there was a dog breed that was developed in Wisconsin? I didn't know that until I read this book.
B is for Badger. Our nickname was found when hardworking miners made homes in the ground. C is for cranberries. Floating on the top, we harvest the most of this lovely red crop.
Reading this page made me hungry, so I went and got some cranberries from the pantry and some cranberries from the fridge.
you sure? Yeah.
Sounded like a crunchy cranberry. All right. Maybe some of you have some cranberries at home that you can munch on after the Facebook Live.
Or during it.
Or during it.
Oh my.
Okay, let's see what the letter D might be. Does anybody have a guess? D is for dairy cow, grazing afar. America's dairyland is where we are.
It's on my shirt, too.
Moo, moo. I like milk. Do you?
Yeah. It's like badgers trying to learn a new language.
Okay. E is for the effigy. It's a pretty mound that's shaped just like an animal and made upon the ground. And F is for a famous man. His name is Frank Lloyd Wright. Designer of a prairie style, his buildings look just right. I wonder how many of our viewers have been to Frank Lloyd Wright's home in Spring Green, Wisconsin.
What does it look like?
It's called Taliesin. I don't see a picture of it on here, but people can look at it on the internet. Okay, how about G? Jory?
Galena starts with letter G, the mineral we all know attracted settlers to our state so many years ago. And Georgia O'Keeffe begins with G, this artist we all know, was born in our Wisconsin more than 100 years ago. And H is for the Horizon Marsh, the largest of all. Oh, I just said Horizon Marsh.
It's okay, you can start over. It's Horicon.
I know. And H is for the Horicon Marsh, the largest one of all. A wetland filled with cattails attracts birds big and small.
I wonder how many of our viewers today have been to the Horicon Marsh and seen all the geese. Or how many knew that Georgia O'Keeffe, the famous artist, was born in Wisconsin. Okay, letter I.
The letter I is Ice Age Trail, where you can walk through time and learn about the glaciers and the land they left behind. It was started in Wisconsin.
The Ice Age Trail is a 1,000-mile trail that is all within Wisconsin's borders.
Only Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it around the whole world? That'd be better.
John Muir starts with a letter J. The father of conservation created many parks that are important to our nation.
The letter K is kindergarten. That's what people say. Did you know it started here? We love it yet today. A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3. Can you skip along with me?
The very first kindergarten in the United States was right in Watertown, Wisconsin.
L is for Lake Michigan and Lake Superior too. They are big and beautiful, and we all love the view so blue.
I know I love the view of Lake Michigan right off the coast of Sheboygan County. Now Madison begins with M, a capital for our state. Here the rules and laws are made that make Wisconsin great.
And M is for a fish. The muskie is its name. Come and learn about it in the Fishing Hall of Fame. Swish, swish, oh, what a fish. Which one is the muskie?
The muskie is this one.
He's fishing it out. N is for the native culture, roots from long ago, and also for the North Woods, it's where the pine trees grow. Deer, moose, and bear, over here, over there.
O is for On Wisconsin. It's a song we love to sing. It's the anthem for our state. Let our voices ring.
And it's our favorite song for the dance party.
Oh, it is fun to have a dance party to On Wisconsin.
Now P is for our favorite team. Shout P is for the Packers. And P is for the greatest fans. They're called the Packerbackers. Go
Go
Green
Green
Bay,
Bay,
go.
go! Q is Quadracci Pavilion. The building is one of a kind. At the Milwaukee Art Museum, come see what you can find. Have any of you seen the pavilion at the Art Museum when the wings open and then when they shut? It looks very majestic. Okay, letter R.
And R is for the Robin Suite. And R is for the Robin Suite. It tells us spring is here. And also for the Ringling Brothers, the stars of circus cheer.
Now, the Ringling Brothers were famous in Baraboo, Wisconsin, but Sheboygan County actually was home to 5 circuses itself, including the Siles Sterling Circus.
The letter S is Summerfest grounds. Wisconsin comes together to share our music, food, and more in any kind of weather. S is also sugar maple, and we think it's neat. A tree can give us maple syrup, rich and thick and sweet. Yum,
Yum,
yum.
yum. I have a little maple surprise right here.
Maple seeds.
I found some maple seeds out in the woods, and I thought it would be fun to play with them. How many of you like to play?
Me too.
What do kids often call them?
Helicopter seeds.
Helicopter
Oh,
seeds.
somebody wants to
Yeah.
sing more of the song.
Someone wants me to sing more of On Wisconsin. That's a quiz I'm not ready to partake in right now. I don't know all the words. Okay, letter T. T is for typewriter. Let's type a letter. Invented right here to make letters better. Clickety-clack across the keys and back. The University of Wisconsin starts with letter U. The first radio station in our nation made sounds from here. It's true.
Now V is for the violet, delicate and sweet, growing in the forest right beneath our feet. And W is for the what I keep thinking it's gonna be that.
It's okay.
Is for white-tailed deer. It makes its home right here, and also for Wisconsin dells where rocks and cliffs are near.
How many of you have been to Wisconsin dells? Do a wave or a like if you have been to Wisconsin dells. To go on the water slides or to see the beautiful dells of the Wisconsin River. X is for cross-country ski. We hold the largest race. It's called the Birkebeiner. Look who's in first place. Oh my, you're passing me by.
Y is for the yellow corn sitting on my plate. Wisconsin grows the most of this, and we think it tastes great. And Y is for the yellow shield. Our flag could not be finer. It's in the very middle with the sailor and miner.
We have some more yellow corn here, but I think we better keep it away from turkey and blue jays. Afterwards, guys, afterwards.
Come on.
We're almost done. We're on the letter Y.
Okay. Corn.
Adlai, could you read us letter Z, please?
The letter Z is for the zoo. With many in our state, we can visit everyone, and we think it's really great.
And there you have the ABCs. It seems our work is done. We've learned about Wisconsin, and we've all had lots of fun. All right, so that was the book B is for Badger by Kathy Jo Wargan. I want to tell the grown-ups and parents watching that there's a little more to this book that we're not going to read in story time today, but if you want to check out this book, we will have it for sale in our museum store once our museum store opens again, when we're allowed to. And there are a few more features of this book that are pretty interesting. At the back there is a quiz, questions and answers for little badgers. And then each page also includes supplemental information about the items that are on that page. So for example, in the letter B, B is for badger, of course. It gives us more information about how the badger was adopted as the official state animal of Wisconsin in 1957. Wisconsin earned the nickname the Badger State in the early 1800s when miners were so busy mining for lead that they used abandoned mine shafts for homes or carved dens into the hillsides, much like the burrowing animal, the badger. Over time, the term badger became a nickname for the people of Wisconsin, and eventually people began to call Wisconsin the Badger State. So each page you can see has a paragraph with a lot more information than what is just contained in the poem. It's a really cool book that you can use in a lot of different ways. One other paragraph that I wanted to point out is on the effigy page, which explains Wisconsin has many effigy sites. An effigy is a mound made by Native Americans long ago, most often in the shape of animals or other geometric emblems. They were created using soil, and most of them date back more than 1,000 years. Many of them served as an ancient burial site for the Mississippian and woodland cultures that lived in Wisconsin long ago. So, Sheboygan County is actually home to a number of effigies that are over 1,000 years old. There is a park on the south side of Sheboygan called Indian Mound Park. And what kind of mounds can we find there? What shapes do they have?
Deer.
There
birds.
are quite a few deer.
Oval.
There are oval ones that are called linear.
There's a panther.
There are 2 panthers.
Unknown.
There's an unknown one. There are some
looks like a turtle.
fawns and some cone-shaped effigies. In nearby Washington County, over near West Bend, there's another park called Lizard Mound Park that has some pretty impressive mounds in it too. One panther mound that is very long. So that is our book B is for Badger. We have a few things that we picked up on some of our nature walks. We've been trying to get out to Indian Mound Park and Maywood and some other places around Sheboygan County to make sure that we don't go stir crazy in our homes. So some of the things that we picked up are, I found this little rock on the beach right along Lake Michigan, and it reminded me of something. So I picked it up and kept it. Can anyone guess what it reminded me of? I can give you a clue. It reminded me of the shape of Wisconsin, so I kept this rock. What else do we find in the woods? We find a lot of these, which we had as our title card. Sticks that we find in the shape of letters. So this is a natural Wisconsin alphabet. Got the letter I, we had the letter V. We even found a little stick in the shape of the letter E, which I seem to have misplaced. So we were able to spell out the word live. That's a fun thing you can do if you take your family to the woods. Try to find some sticks that are shaped like letters. Do we do a few more guesses? Dory wants to rearrange the letters.
Evil. Live backwards.
Okay. Evil. Can anyone guess what letter we saw when we picked up this stick?
Turkey. It depends.
Maybe
If I'm
a
looking
letter
at it this way, it looks like a T.
Oh, that's
From
true.
this way,
A T here. A Y
or from this
here.
way, it's a Y.
Or what if we did this and added the stick to it?
K.
You get a
Letter
K.
Y. Letter Y.
We found a few others that I thought were pretty interesting. I thought this looked just like a letter C. Or a U.
N, lowercase n, sort of.
And I even was able to find this letter in the forest, the letter F for forest. So next time you go out in the woods, see what shapes of sticks you can find. You may also find some trees that look like this. What kinds of trees are those? It was mentioned in our book.
Pine.
Those are pine. These are two different kinds of pines that are found in Wisconsin. This one, if I break off one little piece here, we'll see that this one has, oh, that's only 4. We'll try that again. This one has, how many needles in the cluster?
5.
5 needles in the cluster. Adla, can you explain to us how we can tell what kind of pine it is by looking at the cluster?
That is a white pine. You can tell the difference between white pine and red pine because white has 5 letters in it, and white pine has 5 needles.
That is correct. So you could think of each needle as a letter in the word white. W-H-I-T-E. Jory, can you show us the red pine cluster and we'll compare them?
No, not yet. So,
No.
Can you guess how many a red pine would have?
How many needles in a red pine cluster?
Did any of you guess 3? You would be wrong. There's 2.
A red pine cluster has 2 needles.
You get an F on your test.
Oh.
Kidding.
Well, now you know, and you'll get it right every time when you are out in the forest looking at pine needle clusters. Okay. One last thing that we found on our nature walks is another plant that was mentioned in the book. I wonder if anybody can remember another plant that was mentioned in B is for Badger. It was on the H page. Do you see the plant?
Right there.
There they are. Can you show us? We found some cattails.
Cattails.
These grow in ditches. They also grow, I see a lot of cattails over at Maywood and other parts of Sheboygan County. So we have a little cattail surprise to end up our video.
Your voice is cracking.
And in order to do that, first we'll say goodbye to our little fireside.
Bye.
Goodbye, fireside. And then we are going to...
What about Turkey and Blue Jay? You didn't get any corn.
Turkey and Blue Jay will get their corn later on. Okay, we're going to do our cattail surprise outside. Okay, show us the fun of cattails.
I am going to squish mine to puff it.
Woo!
Woo!
And that is how cattails
Whoa.
spread their seeds
Oh,
all over. All right, let's say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Adlai, come here.
Bye.
Adlai,
Oh, dang
Adlai,
it,
come
we
here.
left the door open.
Come here.
Hey, Turkey and Blue Jay need their corn.
All right, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week at 3.
Bye.
Bye-bye.